Okay, it has come to my attention that most people don't understand why somebody would play with a bookie. And I'm going to give you the pros and cons with playing with a bookie versus playing at your normal locations like FanDuel, DraftKings. And most likely, most people don't know about playing with a bookie because you never played back in the day. Sports betting might be new to you, and you only started doing this when it started to become legalized because there are a lot more sports gamblers in this world today, or in the US, let's say. But, there was a whole lot of us that were playing before past regulations for the states. So I'm going to share with you why you may want to find yourself a bookie because there are some very good pros to working with somebody that's your local guy that's going to give you an account and allow you to play with him. And first of all, you can create a relationship with that guy. Although, is that relationship built on real friendship? It could be. I know you definitely don't have a relationship with your guy at the window unless you go there always at the same time. And even then, they're not running the place. So, let's talk about some of the pros with working with a bookie. Number one, it's convenience, right? If you're not able to bet and go into the casino, or if you didn't load any money onto the app, your local guy has your account waiting for you. And you can play it anywhere. If you're traveling into another state, you can still play it. So if you're somebody that still travels, or that travels often, and you still want to play while you travel, and if it's only legal in the state that you live in, well, you could still play. So you have access to your account nationwide, worldwide, wherever you are. You can still get down, and don't you love that? Number two is they work on a credit system, and that credit system is just like it sounds, right? I'm going to give you $2,000 every week, and they're going to allow you to use that so you could play with, and you just have to pay or you collect the week after, right? But you never have to put your own money down in order to win money. Wouldn't you like that? Only the high rollers in casinos get that type of treatment, right? But when you work with a bookie, oh, that's what they do for you. They're trying to bring you over to their book. And I wonder why, right? Number three is they can have better odds. And, most of the times, this was a big deal when they were talking about the legalization of sports gambling, and all the taxes and all the fees would make it so that, it's kind of difficult to actually eke out a win when you have to pay minus 125, and these local bookie guys are giving it to you at minus 105. Wow, you just saved yourself 20 cents right there. That in itself can make the difference of winning and losing. So that is very advantageous to you. Another reason is more options. And when I say options, not necessarily options to bet the game on, but you have more options as far as websites to use, right? So if you're in your state, you're only limited to, like, let's say there's 3 regulated companies that's within your state. If you use a bookie, you can bet here, 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 because they're available everywhere, right? Another one is, this is probably the biggest reason why you would want to use these bookies, is because they actually don't know what they're doing. They don't know when they're actually being beat. They just want to give you an account, and they just want you to play. As long as you're paying up and you're collecting, all good. They don't care. But sometimes they just don't realize when they're actually losing, which is a good thing if you are sharp. Okay, now, because with a real book, they know when they're losing, and they know they've already profiled you. They have a whole operation to see if you're good. The bookies, it's just them, have some guys, and they're not focusing on your account. They probably know that if they paid you a lot, they know that, but they don't have the team to analyze your play and to see if you're actually really good or if you're just lucky. So that's one reason why you play with a bookie. Now let's talk about the cons of working with a bookie, which like this can turn you off completely. Number one, and you've probably experienced this before, is they are scammers. They are probably some of the biggest scammers in this industry, along with those fake handicappers, which made this industry very difficult to be in, right? You're getting scammed left and right, everybody lying to you, and that's because they are very greedy, and that's number two. They're very greedy, and the reason that they're greedy is they're used to collecting money. So when there is somebody that's actually beating them, they get very emotional and very hurt and very angry that you may have beat them. And if they realize it over a year, 2 years, that like, oh wow, this guy's actually beating me for so much money, they get very, very mad. And it's not a great experience. And so what would happen is they just might end up deciding on the last time that you finally win a huge win, they might decide not to pay you, and then just say, go F yourself, we don't pay you. And after you've been working with them for maybe a year, 2 years, they'll just make a decision out of nowhere not to pay you. And that's part of the scam. That's part of them being greedy and unfair, and that's, they emotionally get hurt because you beat them, and they claim all this BS that they're not going to pay you. And that is like, and that's all out of greed on their end, right? I'm not saying all of them are like this. There's a good amount that are like this, but not all of them. And that's where you kind of have to balance who you're working with and who you find. Another reason is they're an illegal operation. That it's a con. They're operating an illegal operation. As a player, I don't think that's against the law, because I don't know. I'm not here to speak about the law, but that's kind of my understanding to it. So they're the ones that's operating an illegal operation. And last con of that it is tough to get paid. If you're in person with them, maybe it's easier, but if they're a little bit remote, or you got to chase them down, it's a headache. But there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons. And one of the biggest reasons that people use bookies, and especially professionals, is because they can't really see the action, is that they can't really see that this player is actually beating them. And that's really what, as a professional, we're taking advantage of, that they're not that knowledgeable in that end of understanding if somebody's actually beating them, right? So that's what I wanted to share about why people still use bookies, and that's just the name of the game. And they'll be around because they do offer credit, better odds. But let's see how the market turns once all the states become legal. And of course, we want to play in the legal way, as long as they're willing to take action from sharp players, right? This is Ken with Bettor Culture. If you guys want to grab some of our plays that we share with you guys, click the link down below and you can get access to those in our community. Thanks for watching.